You are a glorious blueberry pie, and yes, today when I speak about HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX price targets that we can gather from the crowd. Now, this is the funny part, friends. Some people, when they hear these, they're like, don't tell them all, don't tell them all. Nope. I'm going to tell you something. These crowd targets and expectations of the prices remained the same. It's $1.80 HEX, by the way, just to tell you right now. It's $1.80. Now, I found this fascinating. Never before done, friends. That's why you like, subscribe. We're not only reading the book, we're writing the book. No one's ever done this before. No one. And it's all for free. No indicators to sell, no masterminds. I've got nothing to sell you, man. I don't really care. Okay, you're either on or you're not. Now, I know you're going to be my friend no matter what. Here's the thing. Corrupt SEC, irrelevant. Bitcoin's price, irrelevant. Richard Hart saying he's going to buy, irrelevant. That's right. That's what blew my brains out the most. The collective wisdom of the market through all of that has the same price target. Now, we don't know the real reason why, because it could be one of two things. Either one, it's a direct relationship to how much they're in. So that everybody is in, friends. Most people have 1 month of living expenses in. The average is 3 months, all right? And there's people with like 12 months plus who drag up that average. But most people they have a 1 month in, which makes sense here. It's like $1,000 to $3,000-ish, okay? Now, this is the important part. Does their $1.80 HEX and 100x Pulse and 40x from day one SAC PulseX and all these, I'll go through the numbers, are they because the crowd's long with like $1,000 to $3,000? Is that why they're in now? It's a bit more than that. It's like it's 1 to 3 months living expenses. It's around 3 months. That's the average. Is it because of that? Or is it because the collective wisdom of the crowd knows that Richard Hart, whether he says he's buying or not, they've priced it in. They know he was going to do it anyway. And the corrupt SEC that they know is irrelevant to the fundamentals. So this is something we'll never know because it's the collective wisdom of the crowd. Because if you ask each person, everyone has a different opinion. But friends, I've got to tell you something. What people say and what people do, two different things. What we say is, oh, wait a minute, technically, yes, Richard Hart buying and all these things happening, they're very relevant. Yeah, we say that. But what do our actions do? All our actions in the collective pricing of the market now and how we like vote and how we set where we put our targets, okay, does that incorporate all of it or does it incorporate none of it or is it relevant? So this is why it's beautifully fascinating. Now, this is from all recent surveys. The average PulseChain community member has invested about 3 months of living expenses. Now, well, the beautiful part is, I know, first thing you're going to say is, well, corrupt SEC and Richard Hart buying and all these, but this is the crazy part, friends. I'm going to show you this now. This is just the eHEX chart, okay? These surveys, friends, I gathered these from here. We did it on PulseChain launch. We've done it after. Corrupt SEC happened here. We did it again, and then we've done it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's crazy, man. All of those news events meant nothing. Crazy? It is what it is. It's market cycles. They're all incorporated. It's like it's one continuum. It's just, wow. It's just, they might put this in university textbooks one day. Go, the guy with the Pikachu hat. The guy with the Pikachu hat. Okay, that'd be crazy. Now, remember, the average person has like 1 to 3 months, which means, friends, if you do 3 months, giving you a 60x, you'll have 15 years reward. Now, I'm just guessing here. I'm like, why do people want this number? And now I realize why. If you have 10 to 15 years, maybe there's some tax payment here and there, you don't have to work. So if your living expense, this is how most people think. I know I don't think like that, but this is the average person because I'm here for the average person, friends. They're like, well, I'm in this crypto thing, man, it can change my life. Yes. You don't have to work, but you can work if you want to. If you invested, if you made, doesn't matter how much you invest, if you made 10 to 15 years of living expenses. Whoa. You don't have to work for 10 or 15 years. Okay, that's crazy. Because look, technically you have to keep the same lifestyle as today, but you're living, right? Food and bills get paid for. So you're not upgrading anything. It's just, okay, there's the first things you want to cover for yourself first. However, if you, my friends, want to beat the crowd, you have to invest way more before it's too late. Let's play some nice. Did I just say what I think I just said? You've actually got to buy more? Huh? Yes. Yes, friends. People who drink soy just don't make it. You got to concentrate. You got to concentrate. Tick 1. You got to be right. Tick 2. Okay, you can't just concentrate into like something that's like third cycle narrative and expect to retire. You're not retiring. So, I know it's a tough game, but guess what? The reward's worth it. Okay, you show me anything else in life where you can click some buttons, watch a dude in a Pikachu hat, and if we get this right, you change your life. Show me. But I want to play that game too, because you can't play that game. There is no game like that. This is literally better than anything. This is a casino where you actually can find an edge. You don't have an edge in casino, friends. If you have an edge in the casino, they kick you out of the casino. You can't get kicked out of here. Okay, that's a beautiful part. You can't get kicked out of centralized exchanges, by the way, and they do that. MEXC and these other exchanges, when you start winning too much, exploiting their market maker, or just making too much in general, they just kick you out. But DEXs, fair play, right? So, got to remind you, you are not a believer if you invested 1 month worth. So, you are not entitled to a retirement in one cycle. And that's the truth, okay? If your living expenses per year is like, let's say you need 50 grand for you and your family per year, living expenses. Yeah, if you have like 5 grand in, well, yes, I hope you get a 100x. I hope you do. I'm just letting you know that you're not entitled to one. Why? Because the game's changed. Now there's people who say, wait a minute. I think there's a greater than a coin flip that this thing reaches a higher target from here, like a 10x from here. So they're like, oh, if there's a 85% chance that this thing hits a 10x, sweet, I'm going to put in 1 year's worth. So you're sitting there with your 5 grand, your equivalent person, the other guy in your neighborhood, Jerry in your neighborhood, he's got 50 grand. Yeah, he's winning right at zero. Yeah, it sounds risky. Right, it sounds risky, but if it works, he looks like a genius. That's the game, though. Not financial advice, friends. The government wants you to go buy government bonds, lose the purchasing power, but you get your number go up, printing nominal money over time. That's why we spend so much time here just figuring out, oh, okay, what are all these patterns, these spooky stuff, the unspooky stuff, the facts. We try to put the pieces of the puzzle together. At the end of the day, you know they're printing money. You have the bullish undertones for crypto. We have 140 content creators, for example, in HEX, PulseChain, PulseX, and all of these, okay? But here are the real numbers, okay? You have, this is what the crowd expects, by the way. This is crowd consensus, okay? Crowd consensus. Pulse, 1 cent, okay? Which is a 100x from day one sack. I'm going to show you the chart here now. Now, this arrow keeps saving, but where would it be? 100x? Actually, this is PulseX, right? So, and obviously, they're the same things, and I just assume that the ratio would be the same, okay? So, here we go. It's actually BitBoy's bull case target. His bull case target is a penny. It's 100x from day one sack. Wouldn't that be great? It's from right here, bang, that's where we land by the end of 2025, right there. So if you want to know exactly what return that would have got from the low, around, it's beautifully, there you go, 303x from the low, 100x from day one sack. That's crowd consensus though. And if you've been watching my channel, wink, wink, friends, you know there's something wrong with crowd consensus most of the time. Sometimes they actually go there. We've seen it in some of these Solana meme coins. The crowd has a target, it goes and hits the target. But this is the thing. You already knew that. You're like, wait a minute. Well, okay, out of 100 cases, sure, 5 times the crowd's going to find the target and hit the target. Don't worry about that time. There's a 95% chance, though, it stops under it. How much does it stop under it? Usually, it is 30% of it up to 50%-ish. Right? There's no perfect amount. But at least you got a framework to work off now. Okay, that's beautiful. So, what about PulseX? PulseX, everyone expects a 40x above day one sack. So the same multipliers from here. So it's a 60x from today, pretty much. 60x from today. So Pulse, a penny. PulseX, 004. That's 100x from day one sack for Pulse. 40x from day one sack for PulseX. PHEX and eHEX combined is $1.80. That's what I just told you. That's this rough number, which is $1.20 PHEX, eHEX 60 cents. Now, I just assume the ratio is the same. What if the ratio is 1-to-1 in the future and it's like 90 cents each? You don't have to worry about that. That's why if you have both, you're going to be fine. Okay, so I just want to show you what does that actually mean? What does that look like on the eHEX chart, for example? Let's have a look now so we can see. I'm just going to bring it out for you right now. This is it. This is actually crazy. My fractal here just came to 50 cents. That's actually just, that's funny. Let's see, let's show you what the crowd actually wants. It's around bank. There you go. That'll be it. Right now, here's the thing. We don't know if alt season's going to go there or to the end of 2025. We don't know how long. I'm just assuming, wow, what if it hits April 2025 like everything else? That's the chart. That's the chart, friends. So, by the way, I just did this fractal of what happened last time. So there's nothing special about this, but that's what it is, okay? That's 60 cents. That's the target, okay, for the crowd on eHEX. And then obviously PHEX, you're going to have $1.20 there. That'd be beautiful, right? If they hit there, it's everyone what they want. Now, what about Inc? Incentive token? It's just another 60x from here. It'd be $240. $240 would break its high. But we know the ratios are going to move around here and there. So is it possible, for example, we're going to have Pulse here, friends. Pulse has a 100x target by the crowd. So this is the funny part. The crowd, that's you. That's you. That's everybody. So I love the innocence of people saying, don't tell him. Don't tell them. No. They all know. That's the average. They all know. There's not. I'm telling you is what you already know. This is what you are feeling right now. It's like, yes, I feel that. I feel we're going to hit that. I feel that the target's going to be raised and things are going to happen. I hope it happens, man. I really hope it happens. Now, when you're looking at this, ratios and stuff will move around. It's possible that from here, so what I'm trying to do is imagine in my mind, maybe Pulse versus HEX ratio, maybe it does a 2x from here. So another way to look at it is if you look at the Pulse to HEX ratio right now, if this goes from today's price and it does a 100%, which is actually up to here, that's actually April 2025, right? So if this ends up going, somehow it just ends up here, basically what that means is, it means, okay, and let's say you got that at that equivalent round, that equivalent number for everything, it means that, well, Pulse and PulseX, they could have maybe gone like 130x instead of the 60, and then HEX does a 30x from here. That's also possible to do that. Because remember, I'm just looking at the crowd's target, but this is the fascinating thing, friends. This is something we're gonna have to. This is scary. This is weird. What's weird is, you know, the $1.80 target from everybody, which is $1.80, this magical round number, $1.80. Now, why is $1? It's around 3x from the previous all-time high. Okay, that's probably where it comes down to. Where everyone's got that. Now, the scary part is, before PulseChain, it was $1.80. After PulseChain got diluted, it's still $1.80. Crazy. So now it's crazy. Now, once again, we're torn. Is the crowd saying that the dilution effect is irrelevant? Are they saying that? Or do they just not know and they've just got that $1.80 target because of how much they're long? Is that what you want? Is that why? It's not as simple as you think, because most people think, well, clearly it's just how much they're long. It's like, well, most people are just long 3 months worth and they just want their 60x from today, which is like 100x from the low, because that's what everybody was expecting, right? That's what it is. So, like, surely it's that. Surely, I don't know. And this is another thing. When they were saying $1.80 down here, was their $1.80 target pricing PulseChain in, or did they just have $1.80 and they were expecting $1.80 market cap for Richard Hart? Because that changes all the valuations. Because $1.80 HEX today is not the same as saying $1.80 before PulseChain launched, because we did not know it was going to get diluted. No one knew. Not even Richard knew. Okay, Richard thought, oh, we're going to add value. We're going to have 30% more value. No, we dropped 90% after the PulseChain launch. Everything got diluted. We didn't add new people at the time. So if you want to know these real numbers, though, $1.80 here, what you would do is it's actually about, it's 180 billion market cap. So 180 billion. So that's what the crowd had back there. Now, here's the thing. They still have 180 billion, but it's just for HEX. Okay, so that's the crazy part. Did the crowd's expectations raise now? Because PulseChain has launched and it's done better than they think? You might say, what do you mean it has done better than they think? It's done worse than we think. No, but what if the crowd wasn't expecting Richard to deploy the money, and he's deploying money and he's fighting the SEC now and things have changed? You know, what if Bitcoin 240K target has now motivated people to be like, wow, we're actually going, maybe the market's also saying, what about the stock market and AI and stuff? You see all these little things, friends. If you ask each person, most people say, I don't know. It's just up or down. I know. But the beautiful part is when you get everyone together and you get like the mind of the market, this neural network, basically, you end up seeing something. You're speaking to some, like, the wisdom of the masses, like a really, really intelligent, that's what they call Mr. Market. It's the price. That's why the market price is always right. It factors all this stuff in. Right? I think this is absolutely fascinating to go through and then you can see, okay, so I'll remind you once again, highest value content in crypto. These are targets. That's the targets. Now you might say, well, I think we're going to hit the target. Oh, I hope we hit the target. That'd be, it's going to change everyone's lives. But What if we only hit the target a third of the way there? Are you upset? I'm going to ask you, are you upset? Well, I've told you, the average person's got like 1 or 3 months in. So now you just got to evaluate for yourself. How long are you? Obviously, no pressure, friends. Don't think you have to go to every coin and add everything in. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just telling you this is the mindset that if you want to win, these are the things you have to think about. You have to conceptualize these. These are the things that gives you conviction. Okay? Because you got to beat everyone. You got to beat everybody who's also along with you. That's what it is. Okay? It is what it is. Nature of liquidity in markets. This $1.80 target of HEX. Look, in my eyes, that's why, in my eyes, if everybody's expecting 60x from today, so you just remember that number, 60x. The crowd expects 60x from today return. If we only got 20x, how would you feel? I want you to think about that. Because I know what your standard response is. Your standard response is, I feel good. I feel good. But not with the next part I'm about to tell you. Because if we go to HEX, friends, HEX from its top, 90 days later, it's down 77%. All right? 77%. Which means, now, because HEX went up so much, that's probably contributing to its bit. But these are numbers you got to go off. Okay, it's thin liquidity. It's the same people. I'm not going to just ignore it. And you can't like bet. Again, how much better would the next one be? The next crash. Now, 90 days from the top, you're down 77%. That's why people give like Mr. Silvertooth a hard time because he had $1 million, didn't sell at the top. He was starting to live off the yield. And then literally 90 days later, he has $230,000. 90 days later, when everybody said, we won, now we're going to $1, we're doubling every 60 days. Your million's down to 230K. Okay, now he's not thinking about like the 10 he invested. He's thinking, man, I just lost 800,000, and now we have PulseX launching, and everyone says everything's going to be great. And unfortunately, what happens next is we go down to Doomtown, and we're actually still in Doomtown 3 years later. Okay, so that's something to think about. In 90 days, you lose, let's say 75%, which means, I don't know, let's draw it right now so you actually see. Which means if that repeated, right, let's say we got 20x from today. This is Pulse chart. We went up 20x. It's actually like that. Bang. You see here, this is 20x from today. It would look like this. Woohoo! There you go. 20x from today. Wouldn't that be crazy? Let's actually see what it would look like. Yes, it will go up all the way up here. And then 20x. There you go. 33. Now, let's say this is the actual top. The actual top is 90 days later. Oh my gosh. So right here, let's do 77%. See, you're still up on a chart, on a log chart, friends. You see that? You're still up on a log chart. But from that point, from today, you are 6x up. You see that? You are 6x richer from today. Now, for a lot of people who are turbo giga long, they're happy with the 2x from today. But you know, and we know, the average person has 1 to 3 months invested. So they've got like whatever, an average of 5 grand, maybe, or yeah, let's just say 10 grand. So a 5x today is 50. You say, well, it's better than nothing. Yeah, it's better than nothing, but they're dreaming of retirement and they got 50K. That's if you miss the top because they're not selling the top. Let's put this on a linear chart. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, let's see what it looks like. See that? So it's a huge rise, but this is actually what it ends up looking like. That's actually what it ends up looking like. And if it repeats a chatter and it comes out in here and then like that. And now we have 2026, 2027. And then we go, woohoo, can we go up, please? That's what we're, see that? Now, I just want you to think, is that a failure for you? Okay, because, man, there's people out there, they say that's complete failure. That's absolute complete failure. I don't think that's nowhere near failure. I think that's amazing, especially because you've even been taught about that. They even showed that it's possible. So what you got to see was the journey of someone going 20x, expecting 60, but it stops at 20x. And then so from here, you don't get out. You're not getting out. It's not at the target yet. Okay. So just like, did Richard Hart say, now is the time to buy the bottom at 16K? He said, no, it's 11K. And yeah, he's got that video out where he goes, oh, it could be 15K. But did he come out and say, hey, time to buy the bottom like he did in the last cycle? No, he didn't. So just to show you, right? There's just these things. And then look what happens next. From 16, bang, 64. Back to where he called the top. Okay, that's pretty much why he called the top. It came back to actually where he called that top. So it round tripped his 10K meme core. That's another way to think about it. So what I'm thinking, just invert that now. Invert that. You're expecting 60x. It goes up 20, but then you miss the top. 90 days later, you're up 5x. Which is why, friends, I know there are people out there, they have a year's worth of living expenses invested in here, and a freaking 10x sends them wild. So what's a 20x going to do to them? And then the thought of a 60x, but you know, you get to see the point. That's why earning yield, staying to your core coins, DCA buying, adding to your bags over time, all of these help chip it away. And you've had the opportunity to earn yield along the way. That helps big time, by the way, because you're earning a 2x pretty much right from the very end of every year you're yield farming. So we're coming up onto a year of the PulseX yield farm. So you earn a 2x. Isn't that wonderful? So if you do that again until like in another year from now, let's say May 2025, you've earned the 4x. So what I'm saying is when you're up 20x, really you're up 24x from your initial, because you were earning the yield along the way, like the HEX stake in inflation. So now we've got to see, we have it a peak. This is literally looking into the tornado, the eye of the beast right there. That's actually what everybody expects. So I am not here to tell you it's going one way or the other. I don't know. It could as well go up to 50% of the crowd expectation. That's wild. Everyone expects 60x to go from 20, 30. But my goal is for you to say, how does 20x make me feel? And if you're not clicking out at 20, how do you feel about a 75% drop in 90 days? And that's the start of the bear market. How do you feel about that? If it upsets you, you're not long enough. Okay, because it doesn't upset me, friends. I'm licking my lips every 5% move of this. Literally, I don't care. I'm fine. I don't care about me though. I'm wearing a Pikachu hat, friend. I care about you. That's why you're my friend. Like, subscribe, bell button, or catch you soon.